right.
This conference will now be recorded.
All right, you're all set, Marlon. Ready?
Okay. This is the town of Pembroke Park. Time now is 5:10. Virtual instructions. Notice is hereby given that the town commission, the town commission of the town of Pembroke Park, Florida will hold a virtual hearing examiner meeting utilizing communications media technology in accordance with emergency ordinance 2020-009 dated November 10th, 2020, pertaining to conducting local government meetings while under the public health emergency related to the spread of the coronavirus. Today is Thursday, February 18th, 2021 at 5 p.m. You can dial in using your phone, 1-877-309-2073, or you could also call in with 1-646-749-3129. The access code is 620-149-189. 2 hours prior to the meeting, you can submit a text or voicemail at 954-707-9820. Any members of the public wishing to comment publicly on any matter, including on items on the agenda, may submit their comments by email to the town clerk at townclerk@tppfl.gov. All comments submitted by email that, if read orally, are 3 minutes or less, shall be read into the record. All comments submitted by email shall be made a part of the public record. If any member of the public requires additional information about this town commission meeting or hearing examiner meeting, or has any questions about how to submit a public comment at the meeting, please contact Marlenzi Martel, Town Clerk, Town of Pembroke Park, 3150 Southwest 52nd Avenue, Pembroke Park, Florida, 33023, 954-966-4600, extension 235. And again, the email is townClerk@tppfl.gov. If everybody can stand up or for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Mr. Hippler? You're here, sir?
I'm here. Hippler is here.
Okay. Mr. Miller?
Present.
Okay. Ms. Siegel?
Present.
So we have our town staff, and we also have the hearing examiner and our consultant present at the meeting. You can proceed, Mr. Hippler.
Okay.
Oh, wait, sorry, before you start, is there anybody out there of the public that has any comments or concerns? I have none at the present time. And in regards to the agenda, if we're going to make any changes to it, the one thing I wanted to bring to your attention is only that under 8.1, where it says variance for a patio, it on 34th, it should be 134 West Lake Drive. So instead of 34 West Lake Drive, it should be 134. So I just need to make that correction for the record. And that's it. You can proceed, Mr. Hippler.
He's off camera now.
Mr. Hippler?
Harry?
His mic is on.
And he came on briefly and then went off again.
Yeah, I don't know. His camera's on. Let me send a request.
Mr. Hippler?
I just sent him a request for the camera. Can't hear you.
Oh,
Can't hear
great.
you. His mic is on. He must be.
We can't hear you.
Can't hear you. Mr. Hippler, I don't know if you can hear us, but we can't hear you. Have him leave the back.
I'm on a hearing right now. I'm on a public hearing right now. Okay, I'll call you as soon as I get off.
Mr. Hippler, if you try to turn your mic off and back on, see if it trips it back on. No.
You can leave the meeting and come right back. Sometimes that'll work as well.
We can't hear you, Mr. Hippler.
Why don't you turn your computer on and off and come back? See if it helps.
All right, well, hopefully that'll fix it.
I love that we've all become IT professionals, quote unquote. Not like Mark.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay, that works. It's rebooting. Anyway, these are hearing examiner meetings, and barring any technological issues that we've just had, what we're going to do is we're going to consider the petition for variance, the property located at 134 Westlake Drive, Pembroke Park Lake Mobile Home Park. It involves a mobile home with a certain item that was put on there without permitting some time ago, apparently not by this owner. So what we're going to do is determine whether or not a variance is appropriate because it's located near an open lake or a waterway that's owned by the mobile home park, and the mobile home is at or near the water. So Michael, if you can hear me, why don't you go ahead and present the town's history and some background. After that, what we'll do is we'll let the owner of the property go and say their piece, keep it relevant, of course. And then if there are any public comments that anyone wants to make, or if anyone wants to add information, these hearings are informal. There has to be some structure, so I've just listed it, but they are informal hearings. So please go ahead and make your report, Michael. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Just for the record, Michael Miller, a consultant town planner for the town of Pembroke Park. This request came to our attention.
Has everybody been sworn in?
They haven't been sworn in. If you want to swear them in, sometimes I have in the past. But if you want to, go ahead and swear everyone in, that's fine. Go ahead. Everyone's going to testify. Please go ahead and raise your right or left hand, depending.
You're going to get sworn in. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth and nothing but the truth during this hearing?
I do.
Yes. Can everybody say yes on the record?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
Okay. This request came to our attention, as you mentioned, via the code enforcement officers for the town of Pembroke Park. During their rounds in this particular mobile home park, they identified some activity occurring at 134 Westlake Drive. They stopped and inspected. They found a number of improvements being made. They checked with the building department. There were no applications made or permits issued for some of the improvements that they looked at. One of those was a structure, kind of square shaped on the lake bank between the mobile home and the adjoining water body. On the roof of the structure, which appears to be some type of storage building, is a proposed patio, and it's called a raised patio on the application forms. After the owner was alerted to the issues and told they had to get permits, and it had appeared that this particular structure was in a setback area, they chose to file a variance application for that structure. So the current owners requested a variance from Code Section 28-340 paren A of the town code, which is listed in the code as dock regulations. The subject matter in that section of the code is broader than just docks. The town adopted some code amendments in 2013 that there was some weaknesses in some of the content for accessory structures, docks, seawalls, walkways along waterways, things like that. In the mobile home park district, the T1 district, there are a specific set of land development regulations, mostly with separation standards from the perimeter of the park, as well as separation between the units themselves and accessory structures. There are also regulations for parking and driveways and so forth. In the charter of the town, there is a provision that prohibits any change to the T1 zoning regulations unless there is a vote of the citizenry with a percentage mentioned in the code. That was occurred, as well as some text that prohibits the rezoning of mobile home park lands to others indiscriminately. The owner can request, but not others, due to the we'll call them the annexation wars that have been going on for more than a decade now. So due to a lack of regulations on docks, seawalls, and related structures, and the town had been receiving over the years various applications, mostly in the mobile home park communities that have water bodies, for constructing seawalls or some type of dock facility, patios near that area, and so forth. As flooding has become more of a concern, the former public works director had recommended that there be certain setbacks for certain types of structures so that the mobile homes are not down right on the water areas. When we get storm events, the lake levels can rise dramatically from their normal level, about 2 feet, to 7, 8, 10 feet. There are some pumping systems, but they're not fully integrated throughout the whole town. So somewhat related to flooding, somewhat related to the safety of people, we adopted these regulations in 2013. It requires that immediately adjacent to the water body, there is a 5-foot clear area, referred to as a lake maintenance area, and a minimum 10-foot setback for any structure. So in this case, and there may be, in fact, there are lots of improvements in the town that I would say be in conflict with these 2003 regulations. There's many of the developments have existed in our town for decades and decades, and without any regulation, some things have been built or added, probably some without permits. In addition to the town regulations, each community has their own set of design criteria, we'll call it, and they have to get clearance through their association, if you will. Um, so in this case, again, the code officers identified some work being done without permit. They inspected the site and they identified that this particular structure that is clearly within the 10-foot setback of the water, but it is not within the 5-foot lake maintenance area. It might be subject to flooding. We don't know that. It appears from photos and from initial inspections that the structure probably does not meet the Florida building code and will need to be fortified. That will occur after the town decides whether the structure can stay here or not. Having said that the structure is close to the water body, the site where the mobile home is has a certain width. It's supposed to be at least 40 feet wide via the zoning code, and the mobile home is probably not that width, and this structure is not that width. So while this particular structure, which is about 10, 11 feet wide, takes up some of that width area on the water, the other areas are open up to the 5 feet and up further, the 10 feet to the mobile home, which is up on the bluff before you come down the slope to the water. So we looked at the variance criteria and the history of this. The owner alleges that he did not build this storage structure, that it was there when he bought the property. We have not been able to identify when the structure was actually built. There's no evidence of that provided. We did also ask for a letter from the association. They claimed that it met the setbacks of the mobile home park, but not necessarily the city zoning code. We have not been provided any evidence of that. Having said that, we looked at the particular situation, and the purpose of the regulations again is to provide some freeboard for flooding control and also some open vistas along the waterways. This particular structure being 11 feet wide and 9.5 feet deep, if you will. The lakefront is a little angled, so one corner of the structure is about 7 feet from the seawall, and the other is about 5 feet. The rooftop, I don't know that is being used. It looks like it's still under construction, or it was at the time I found this. Is if it is to be used as a rooftop terrace or patio, it needs a railing because it would absolutely be unsafe. Someone could fall from that height. The building code requires if something's over 30 inches from an elevated platform to the ground, you must have some fall protection. Again, that would be handled at the time building permits are requested and reviewed. So the specific request is a variance from section 28340A, which requires a 10-foot setback from a water body. The particular structure, like I said, is at least 5 and 7 feet at the other corner. The 5-foot lake maintenance area is unobstructed at this time. So based on this, while we could say there's no variance, there's no hardship here, they should have asked first. It is something that is built, and it could have been there prior to this current owner acquiring the property. We don't have any, evidence when that actually occurred. So the town has an option to deny their request and have them remove the structure entirely, or consider the hardship that it was there when they bought it, and they're finishing it. They would need to update it to meet the building code requirements, and in that case, the town might consider approval of the structure. There are other examples, as I mentioned, in the town that have been there and predate the 2013 code requirement, and this is not different than some of those. So, in summary, that completes our presentation. We've submitted our staff report dated January 12th, 2021 into the record, and I'll try to answer any questions that I can. Can't hear Harry again.
Mr. Hippler, you're muted. There you go. Still, so we can't hear you.
You hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I guess it needs to be rebooted every now and then. Okay, the owner, can you hear me? Any comments or questions that you have of anyone? Or your representative, Linda?
Yes.
Do you have any comments, questions?
No, I have no comments, no questions. I think Mr. Miller took care of most of the stuff. You know, if we have to meet the setback, there's no more patio left for sure. We're meeting at least I think the park requirement, what was the 5 feet? So I think, like Mr. Miller said, you know, if this is approved and then the owner is willing to go and get a permit and then make this legal and as per all the requirements of the city for the building code.
Okay, ma'am, Linda, what is your full name? Who do you work for? And what's your capacity here?
Okay, my full name is Linda Doiron, D-O-I-R-O-N.
Yes.
I work for myself, plans by Linda.
Okay.
I also work for a few architects. I do plans. And then the owner called me once he received a letter from the city. He doesn't speak a lot of English. He has a friend with him to translate. So that's why he called me, because I speak French and I speak English, so it was easy to communicate.
Well, those are two good languages to know how to speak.
So
French and English. English we know, but French is also Spanish as well, but you know, all three. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So and do they want to make any comments, the Rouleaus, or is that sufficient?
Well, his speaker is on, his mic is on, so I don't know if you wanted to make any comment. He, like I said, he doesn't speak English.
Okay.
He wants to keep the patio as much as possible, and he's going to make it.
Okay, as I understand it, I mean, technically, since there was no permit or anything ever applied for, it was just put on there, it really should be within 10 feet, but it is within 5 feet. So we're talking not merely, but the CBS dwelling was built with a raised patio on the roof of the mobile home.
Yes.
So, and just so everyone's clear, just as a comment, whether he put it on or not, all these violations run with the land. When I do the report, and I've already done much of it, I'll cite a whole bunch of cases that when you buy a piece of property, you assume all the pros and the cons. I mean, that's just life. I didn't write the law. Don't blame it on me or the town and the like. So in light of that, then what I'll do is I've reviewed the report as well. There's a caller 02, or do they want to make a comment, or are they just there?
Everybody's unmuted, so if they want to make comments, they're more than open to.
All right, is there anyone from the public that wants to make a comment? Okay, going once, twice, whatever, I guess not. So since we've heard from Mr. Miller and we've also heard from the owner's representative and some of my own comments, since I've reviewed the petition and studied this, I've done tons of these reports after considering the facts and the circumstances, with maybe an addition or two, giving the town commission the sole province of deciding what they want to do on this. My report is just a recommendation, but I am going to follow, for the most part, Mr. Miller's recommendation. I would say that just as a footnote to this, or a head note or whatever, that there was never, to anyone's knowledge, any permit here to make sure that this complied with anything applicable in the town of Pembroke Park or the Florida Building Code. And this raised patio, under all circumstances, is going to have to comply with both of those structural requirements. And it's also not a matter of if they want to apply for a permit or not. That's what the law is. They're going to have to. Right now, I understand that the code enforcement matter has been stayed. There were a number of violations that were found. So there's never been a per diem that's been applicable here to give them an opportunity to apply for a variance. And I'm sure that the town commission will be sympathetic to that. But just like when you come into a court of equity, which this is not, if you apply for a variance, you have to understand that you're really coming with your hands out and asking the town commission for permission to do something. And, it's going to have to comply with the Florida Building Code. I don't know what the costs will be for that. That's really not the town's problem. That's going to be your own. I also understand that you're on the water. There's an aesthetic factor here, a beautification factor, that you want to keep it. And the town, if they follow my recommendation, and it's up to them what they do. Again, what I recommend and what Mr. Miller recommends is not binding on anybody. What we do is lay the groundwork to see if the town can help the person get from point A to point Z, as long as it follows the law. So they need to understand that. So, when I finalize my report, and I'll work on it more tonight to finalize it, and I'll have it to everybody by tomorrow, so you can all review it. I'm going to go ahead and make a recommendation that the variance be approved with some caveats in there and the like. And you'll see them. There's nothing earth shattering. You just have to comply with that. Now, Linda, do I have your email or not?
You should have my email, but I can give it back to you.
I want to make sure, because what I do in my certificate of service is send it to a whole bunch of emails. Some people's names are there. Please forgive me if I don't put your name there, but it should be in an email. So let me have your email if I could.
Okay, my email is plansbylinda.
Plans by Linda.
LINDA.
Yes.
At hotmail.com.
At hotmail.com. Okay. I want to make sure that when I send it out tomorrow morning, I have a hearing at 9:30. Then I got something else at 10. So I'm going to work on this tonight. I've set up at home. I'm not at home because my wife would not let me live with boxes like that of material, and she'd be right. So, but it's more comfortable there. I sometimes work from there like we all do. So it's plansbylinda@hotmail.com, and I'm going to send the report to everybody for you to review. At the hearing, when this comes up for a first reading and ultimately a second and maybe a third reading, the owners and or Linda and or both of you should attend that meeting, because the town commission in its wisdom may want to ask you some questions. They may have some concerns about all this as well. I'm not going to directly comment on some of what I've read here about some of the other mobile homes that may be in violation, but that's their business, not for today. But if they're there, then the town will have to deal with that at some other time. And that's not within my province at this time. So you're going to have an opportunity to keep your raised patio in the area there and enjoy the mobile home and keep it safe for everybody and for whoever the next owner is down the road, whoever that is, if there is one. So in light of that, if there are any questions of me, I'll certainly respond. If there is, I've asked about public comments. I've given my own. We've gone through the reports of Michael Miller and some of my own comments, and I'll go ahead and close out the meeting. Any comments from anybody? Any attorney comments from the town attorney? How about Ms. Siegel, the upcoming town planner? How about yourself, Michael Miller? Anyone have any further comments?
I do not. This is the town attorney. I do not.
Okay, great. Okay, I'll then close the public meeting, and I'll have this by tomorrow. And I think the town commission is going to have a workshop next week, I believe, or whenever it is, but I'll have it by tomorrow, so everybody will have an opportunity to review it. I do these, take my time before the hearings, because I know that these hearing examiner meetings are oftentimes set 3 or 4 or 5 days just before the workshop. So, and I know they like to study that as well. Okay.
Mr.
there's
Heffler,
nothing else. Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Heffler, we are targeting the March 10th commission meeting. We will just be alerting the commission to the item, but not discussing it at the workshop. We are trying to avoid any quasi judicial issues with our planning and zoning and hearing examiner issues.
Okay.
Projects.
That's up to you. You're the boss there, so whatever you want to do, but it'll be there tomorrow. So you'll take a look at it, everyone, and it'll be heard at discussed at a workshop meeting, ultimately a town commission meeting when they see fit and the like. So whenever that is. Any other questions or comments? Okay.
This is Danielle. This is Danielle, and then I just want to let you know then the owner is ready to apply with the conform to the law.
Great. That's very good. Okay. Well, that'll be up to you. I'm sure the town will work with you to help you accomplish this, and you'll have to give up something as well, but that's life. Okay. That's the way these things work. All right. I'll go ahead and close the public meeting at this time unless I've overlooked something and the like. I don't think I have, and we'll call it an evening. Hearing examiner meeting will be closed at this time. And what will we do without Mark Pakula and as well as Marlon telling me to go off and come back on? I wouldn't have thought that. So.
Marlon, can I stop the meeting now? Marlon?
Yes, meeting has adjourned at 5:44 p.m. We got
This
15 minutes
conference is
before
no
the other
longer being recorded.
Great. We'll see everyone next time, whenever that is. Okay. Take care and be safe and wear a mask, please. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Bye, Ben.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye.